Guys, we have an urgent information coming out. The Holy Land Prime Minister's office confirmed that Benjamin has come to a decision for the full occupation of the Strip, including operations in areas where the innocents are held. Wow. Okay, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. This is a big breaking news coming out. And at the same time, Donald just put out his information. The sleeping giant, the US states and cities that boycott the Holy Land companies will be denied federal aid for natural disaster preparedness. I don't think he could do that. I don't. Again, that funds belong to the sleeping giant. Hold on, give me a second here. I don't think he could do that though. Donald administration conditions $1.9 billion in FEMA disaster funding on states and city not boycotting Holy Land companies. All right, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. This is a big breaking news. Now, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Another way to support the channel is through Patreon. $5 a month will get you access to our live stream. We go live once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on this platform. That's another way to support the channel. $5 a month Patreon. Thank you again for your support. All right, so Prime Minister Benny has reached a decision for the full occupation of the Strip, including operation in areas where innocents are held. A source in the Prime Minister's office told the news on Monday. Benny office convened the message to the Chief of Staff. If this does not suit you, then you should resign. The announcement comes after months of talks in Doha between Hamas and Holy Land and mediators to reach a cease plan of the innocent deal. Now, the hostage, innocent. I'm using code words here. It says here, you have Hamas demanded that hundreds of trucks of aid will need to enter the Strip for the T group to return to negotiations, despite increased international efforts to deliver resources to the Palestinian enclave in a way that would bypass these group rulers of the Strip. Hamas also released videos over the weekend showing a massacre of the innocent and claiming that they were facing famines. As a result of the widespread famine in the Strip, that's what's going on. There is famine going on. And there's videos and everything, and it just, I couldn't. I mean, it's hard to make this video. Again, I got to do all these research and read all this news, and it's very heartbreaking because in these articles they have videos and pictures of young ones, and it just, just pray for them, And it just kind of bothers me that Donald still look up to Ben, even though this famine going on. Donald, I mean, what are you going to do about that? I mean, you worry about Vladimir. Man, just leave Vladimir alone, man. You got young ones out there facing famines, and you keep giving stuff to Ben. So these group holds aid to innocents as bargaining chip, while the Red Cross agreed to increase efforts to deliver stuff directly to the innocent, in addition to the aid being delivered by the Strip Humanitarian Foundation. These group responded that the resources will only be allowed to reach the man if the Holy Land opens the humanitarian corridors, permanently and halts all forms of air traffic, during the delivery of packages to the innocent. So these group, Hamas, they basically, what they're trying to say here is, this is not us. That's Ben, and that's the sleeping giant holding the containers. Again, these innocents, again, they're not being fed because there's nothing here in this famine. This is on Ben, and this is on the sleeping giant leader. And now you have Europe and 145 countries are coming together saying, look, this needs to end. This needs to end. Donald, that's it. Ben, that's it. This needs to end. So it seems like these lands are going to come together and recognize the Strip as a state. It seems like it's going to happen September. At the same time, there's going to be a blood moon. So now, I did see the videos of those famine going on, but who's the one that has the containers? The Holy Land. Many of them are parked out there in Egypt, just parked out there. And yeah, now you have those innocents, the one that were taken in October, facing famine. And it's not looking good. So sending prayers to a lot of people there. Now let's see what's going on with this news. I keep hearing something about Donald to withhold some funding for states, cities who boycott the Holy Land. That's some serious stuff there. Donald conditions $1.9 billion in the agency FEMA disaster preparedness funds on states and cities not boycotting Holy Land Company. He can't do that. He just can't. What happened if, let's say, North Carolina or Florida, again, we get hit with a massive hurricane, and you have a lot of these groups like rising up against the Holy Land. So that means that Floridians is going to face the consequences. States must certify they will not severe commercial relations, specifically with Holy Land companies, to access grants for search and rescue equipment, emergency manager salaries, and backup power system. The policy targets the boycott statement. This statement sanctions. I totally apologize about the word. Movement with NOAM's spokesperson labeled. I'm going to skip a lot of words here, guys, stating that the Department of Homeland Security will enforce all anti-discriminatory laws and policy, including as it relates to the BDS movement, which is expressly grounded in with 34 states already enforcing anti-BD laws. The requirement is largely symbolic. Major cities, including New York City, slated for $92.2 million in prevention funds, must comply to receive their share of $553.3 million allocated based on the terror risk. The sleeping giant, again the JEWS committee, through HUFNOG, support this policy. This move follows the agency FEMA July directive requiring states to use the T prevention funds to aid the migrants' cuffs, highlighting that Donald's strategy of leveraging federal funds to enforce political priorities at the state level. All right, so once again, Donald to withhold disaster funding for state cities who boycott Holy Land. Man, a lot of people's not pleased with that. So a lot of people is in shock. All right, give me a second here, guys. I want to see if we can find any more information in this news. Breaking news. Give me a second here. Breaking news. I'm gonna have to use this because there's a lot of picture here and memes and very disturbing stuff. The Holy Land Army radio said The Holy Land Defense Force objects to the full occupation and slash or takeover of the Strip. Once again, this is coming out from the Holy Land Army Radio. So a lot of people is sharing the information. The Holy Land Prime Minister has reportedly made the decision to fully conquer and occupy the Strip. What are your thoughts? Leave comments down below. The cabinet of the Holy Land Prime Minister unanimously voted on Monday to fire Attorney General. I'm gonna skip the name, who is currently prosecuting him for lawlessness, as well as several of his advisors and close associates for their connection to Qatar. The Holy Land Supreme Court has called the firing inappropriate and filed an injunction preventing it, while several cabinet ministers have said, I'm gonna skip the name, will be boycotted. Wow. No longer invited to meetings and further legal opinions disregarded by the Ben Gov. Alright guys, so far this is all the information here. This is all the information. I would keep you updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There's been a lot of biblical wars going on, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Faith and trust in Jesus Christ. For He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.